One of the things that I've read and people have said is that you got to be able to start a business and let it operate as if you weren't involved, that it could survive you. So I always took that literally to say, okay, well then that means that I have to not actually be there baking the cakes, because we're about making cakes. So if I'm not involved in the physical process of making the product, then maybe the business will do fine and be fine without me. And that's true to an extent, but it really thrives when the energy of the owner is there. It's a distinct advantage of a small business to use their personality and use their specific message to the local market, and that's really where you got your edge. But it needs to be projected frequently, so it takes time. It takes resources to get that message out there. It takes just a lot of effort. My father used to run a bar, and he would be there and was successful. But then he could never leave the bar, because when customers would come in, if he wasn't there, then they'd leave and the bar would just kind of collapse. So I tried to take myself, as much as I could, the personal me, away from Cake Love and build Cake Love as strong as possible. And I think Cake Love is very strong, and I think the brand's strong, but people want to see me there. They want to know that I'm, intimately involved with the business and that I am doing something every day, whether I'm baking the cakes or I'm frosting them or answering the phone. You go in, you buy, a GE light bulb. You're not looking at the package for like the picture of the owner of GE or even the inventor of the light bulb. You're just buying a light bulb. And I think for a lot of small business owners, like we get confused because we're regular consumers in America too. So we buy products all the time that don't have the same driving sale marketing message that is asked of small business people. Maybe I do need to put a little bit more of like pictures of my face in the shop so people see and understand and just are reminded who the person is that's behind the brand. You always want to grow, you always want to add more. You figure, hey, I made one cake shop, market seems to really react to it, let's make more, in similar markets. I never really started this business to be one cake shop on one corner. I wanted to grow it to the maximum potential that it would yield. Before I opened up the first bakery, I was creating recipes. And all those recipes I was making, I was designing them so that other people could make them. And all those other people I was thinking of would be working in other shops, multiple shops. So the whole business, of course, is around cakes. And if I'm making a recipe and I want to make it easy to follow, then let's have some whole numbers, like 1 cup of half and half instead of 1 1/8 cup of half and half, and stuff like that. I wanted to make it really simple. And so my vision has always been that there would be other people working with me to execute the orders. As the owner of the business, I realized that I have to be the #1 salesman, the #1 cheerleader, the #1 fan of the business to make other people excited about it. I never think of myself as a salesman though. I just really want to think of myself as an advocate for the business, I want to make sure that people understand what we do. I want to educate people about our products and our methods and why we do our philosophy and all that stuff. I want to invite people in. And if they come in, hey, that's great. Here's everything we've got. But I really push to have an excellent product so that when people slice the cake and eat it, they're curious about where it's from, not just about who made it. Even if I'm super friendly and happy-go-lucky and all that stuff, somebody might be interested once or twice, but they're not going to come back. So I knew that it had to be excellent, and I really pushed to make sure that that was the case. And accepting that my personal role and my personal stake and how the business reflects me personally, I became more at peace with it and see it much more as a family venture. Money is not really, it's part of the business. You have to make profit in order to be in business, but it is not the focus. The focus is really the cake. This business is in business to make excellent cake. And the money that we make as a result is great. The money will come and it should be able to pay for itself as long as the product is as good as it could possibly be and the marketing is successful. You're never in control of the business. Let me tell you, let me make sure. No, it's like that Olympic sport, skaters and the broom and the ball or something like that. Curling, yeah. And like they never touch the ball, but they're still actually, controlling where it's going, but without touching it. To me, that's very much like a business. I'll never have my hands actually on every single thing. It's an organic beast that goes wherever it wants to go. My job is to try to make sure